everyone. Welcome to Accounting Makes Sense, an MJ the Tutor podcast. I'm your host, MJ the Tutor. You may wonder why the podcast is starting off without its welcoming tune. This is to signify that today's episode is a repeat of a previous episode, which offered some tidbits from the OCS pre-scene. As you may already know, the pre-scene material for May is shared with August. So, as we are dealing with the same pre-scene material, it goes without saying that the tidbits would be the same. Hello, everybody. You're listening to Accounting Makes Sense, an MJ the Tutor podcast. And I am your host, MJ. In this podcast, we are focused on helping accounting students all over the world by offering a quick warm up on various accounting and business topics, hoping to generate bigger discussions and conversations around them. For this episode, I'm going to offer a few tidbits on the Operational Case Study, OCS, for May 2024. Today's episode is actually right on time for the arrival of the OCS pre-seed materials, which just came out last week. So these tidbits are like clues into the world of the pre-scene company. All it is are really quick and fast intakes of the pre-scene. Since I've only had a weekend to read through it, these are just fresh thoughts. I always believe that as you read the pre-scene more, you'll get more and more insights into it. Anyway, let's start off with background information. A pre-scene company is a company called Canaan. They design and manufacture horse saddles and are based in the fictitious European country called Kieland. Our first tidbit to share for today is the structure of this company. It is a family owned business, privately owned between siblings, and the owner, who owns 80% of the company, is also the CEO of the business. This is not really anything unusual. Most small businesses operate this way since there's no sense in having too many people managing a business that doesn't need a lot of people, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Anyway, here are some of the good parts of having such a setup in a business, where your CEO is also your major owner. Owner CEOs of family owned businesses bring a strong sense of identity and long term perspective to their roles, often prioritizing the business's legacy over short term gains. And we can see this in John Canaan's feelings towards his daughter working for the company. The personal investment of owner CEOs can motivate success, but it also exposes them to higher risks. Specific issues often faced by owner CEO businesses, particularly within family owned enterprises, encompass several key issues and areas. Firstly, we have succession planning, which presents a significant challenge as it involves identifying and grooming the next generation of leadership while ensuring smooth transition without disrupting family harmony or business continuity. At the moment, Freya, John's daughter, is likely being groomed to take over the business one day. But what if something were to happen that necessitates someone running the business prior to Freya being ready? Would the 20% owner, Anne, the sister, take it on? Secondly, family dynamics and conflicts can heavily influence decision making and operations, necessitating effective communication and resolution strategies to mitigate tensions. Thirdly, the insular nature of family owned businesses may limit exposure to external perspectives, hindering innovation and adaptability. Think about governance and accountability. There's no independent oversight, so it may be hard to hold those in power accountable should they do something wrong. And if the plan is to grow the business more, this would become a bigger problem for the future. So, definitely, this is one area to take note of, which could potentially come up at the exams. Our second tidbit is one on adaptability and competitive advantage. One critical issue faced by Canaan seems to be the failure to adapt to changes in their external environment, market dynamics, or technological advancements. This lack of adaptability can lead to several detrimental consequences, as can be seen as to what happened to Canaan. Firstly, they risk losing their competitive edge as they become outpaced by more agile and innovative competitors who respond effectively to changes in customer preferences, industry trends, or regulatory requirements. This can result in a decline in market share, revenue loss, and ultimately diminished profitability. Moreover, failing to adapt to changes can lead to operational inefficiencies and increased costs as outdated processes or technologies become obsolete or less effective over time. Additionally, companies may miss out on opportunities for growth and expansion by neglecting to capitalize on emerging trends or market shifts. To mitigate this issue, companies must foster a culture of continuous learning, innovation, and adaptability, proactively monitoring the external landscape and embracing change as a means of driving long term success and sustainability. We can see all this affecting Canaan. Even one area of the pre-seen material specifically mentioning this, where it says, the general perception in the market is that although Canaan's saddles offer value for money, the company has significantly fallen behind the times. So that in itself kind of tells us that Canaan has been lagging behind. Again, as mentioned, if the plan is to grow and build Canaan, then they've got quite a few things still to improve on, other than just relying on Freya's reputation and endorsement of the Canaan products. So, any questions or issues popping up at the exams discussing improvements related to competitive advantage and the ability of being able to elevate the company from competition warrant serious consideration. The last tidbit is on the budget, the process, and the preparation. Relying solely on annual budgets and standards that are updated on the same time frame poses significant challenges for Canaan operating in today's dynamic business landscape. One of the primary issues with this approach is the lack of flexibility. Annual budgets and standards may not adequately account for unexpected changes or evolving market conditions that occur throughout the year. This rigidity can hinder an organization's ability to adapt swiftly to new opportunities or challenges, potentially impacting its competitiveness and overall performance. I suppose it tracks since Canaan's overall attitude toward its growth and operation is one that is outdated and rigid. Additionally, the other issue is that using outdated standards and budgets can lead to inaccurate forecasts and financial projections. Economic conditions, industry trends, and other external factors are subject to rapid fluctuations, making it difficult to rely solely on static annual figures. This can result in missed targets, overspending, or inefficient resource allocation. Furthermore, waiting for an annual update to revise budgets and standards may cause the organization to miss out on valuable opportunities for cost savings, revenue generation, or process optimization. To address these challenges, Canaan can adopt more dynamic approach to budgeting and performance evaluation and management. This includes implementing continuous monitoring and adjustment processes, utilizing real-time data to analyze what is happening in the business, and fostering cross-functional collaboration to ensure that budgeting and standard setting processes reflect diverse perspective and expertise. Anyway, that is it for me today. I hope you found this episode helpful. And maybe perhaps you've had the same thoughts as me when it comes to the OCS pre-scene of May 2024. That's good since it confirms your hunches. And if you had some other different ones, then that is also good because this episode actually gives you additional food for thought. As always, thank you for listening to Accounting Makes Sense. I am your host, MJ the Tutor. If you're keen to connect to be updated with the arrival of the next episode of this podcast or find CIMA resources online, please head on over to my website, www.mjthetutor.com. You can also hit subscribe on whichever platform you are using to listen to this podcast. If you want to connect with me on social media, I'm on Facebook, X, and Instagram under the name MJ the Tutor. And I hope to see you again next time. Ciao for now!